continents. So we're having the term continent and continents is plural, and we're dealing with buildings or something that is built or in the process of building. That's why we're calling them buildings. Yet we can be saying that something was built as in past tense, yet everything's in the state of becoming. It's always in motion. Yet buildings have water or wattage. Water is referring to electricity, and flipping the W to an M gives you matter or matter or math or math. Take the H off, it's matter or mater. So in German, water is Wasser, which is going to the term vase or vase, because water, whether it's in its solid state, air state, or liquid state, it's requiring a container or a vase or a base. Is something, because the B and the V can be interchanged, yet continence is the ability to hold water. So when you're looking at the continents of this plane that's built up with the architecture, if you rearrange the term sure, it's true, and it's going into the term light, then it's going into other parameters as well. Yet, in texture, like you can feel, referring to something you can feel, which is why it's called fields. And then also going into the term countenance. And that's also having a synonym of the term physiognomy. So your countenance is going into different definitions, yet one is expression, but it's going down to the actual application of what we will be calling an expression. And that's our physiognomy, which can change. It's the study of the physical features, of clearly of anything really, but in particular men and women and anything alike, and even it could even be going into the physi. You see, because the base term is physiognomy, so you have physi. Nature in Greek is physi or physi. You can spell it with an F or a PH, and F's and P's can be interchanged, hence the P, PH, F. And H is going to be taken off of terms, so hence the P and the F. So, yeah, the physiognomy. That's definitely something that we have built in, which, again, we can be changing our physiognomy. Thus, our physiognomy is always in motion, based on the information or the state of matter, or the state of our state, or mental state, or spiritual state, all of the above. So, continence, since the ability to hold water, so thus incontinence is the inability to hold water. So that's an actual health term or health term, or referring to our physical. There's physi again, our physical condition or state. So again, physi in Greek is nature, or nature in Greek is physi. You can do it both ways. If you're going to put it into a translator, or depending on what type of reference material you're working with, whether it be online or dictionary, yet whichever type. Yet, yeah, water is clearly something that is integral into this experience. So, and again, wattage, denoting electricity. So that shows, there was an event that happened, and clearly the water that the buildings are containing, for the most part, are clearly displaced, and they're still spewing out of buildings without any body of water nearby. Thus, it was a part of its built-in, some people can say sewage system, yet it was an irrigation system. Clearly, the metallurgy is just exquisite. It was the metals, everything they were building back then was just top-notch in every sense of the word, in the way. Intricate and, you know, non-rusting and sturdy, so many things. Yet, there's some recurring themes, such as arches, so many things, but clearly these are huge. This entire place is built up, and clearly water is a big part of it. Fountains and so many things. And a lot of publishing areas are calling them mountains, but they're just damaged buildings from the event. And this was recent. It's way less than what they would like to indicate in a lot of their publications. Yet they do acknowledge that there was a heat event. This was a type of electrical heat event, and a lot of the water would have gotten released into the atmosphere and rained back down. So there's definitely something to a flood story, because clearly you can see the buildings at what people want to call to the bottom of the ocean, but that's clearly still buildings. It's so how far down is it all going? There's areas where water is actually breaking through, and you can see it getting siphoned through these large bodies of water. So how far down everything is built up? You could say how far up, but it's clearly going down. So the ability to hold water and the inability to hold water, continence and incontinence. And the state of everything is its physiognomy. You can see the state.